Good morning and welcome to Conversations with Barb Johnson. I'm Barb Johnson, Minneapolis City Council member of the 4th Ward. I'm also president of the Minneapolis City Council. And the 4th Ward is actually the far northwest corner of Minneapolis. I represent about 33,000 people. All of us on the City Council have about an equal number of constituents. And I was born and raised in that community, and it's a great group of folks to represent. We have lived, my family has lived in North Minneapolis really for several generations, and we sort of replicate what North Minneapolis really consists of, which is families and then friends. And we have changed as a community and are really seeing some demographics work their way through North Minneapolis, and it's been a great change to see, I guess is what I want to say. I'm pleased to be able to have this vehicle of community access television to be able to talk about my community. I want to thank the executive director of MTN, Pam Colby, for really running such a great organization, and our producer today, Michael Rainville, for helping us put this show together. It's a wonderful vehicle to tell the stories about our city that wouldn't make it into regular print and TV. So it's just been a wonderful tool for people who are interested in learning more about the video and TV industry, and also learning. Lots of young people get classes in education about how to make their own productions and that sort of thing, and it's been wonderful. So I thank our community for signing on to the vision of Community Access TV. It's great to be here this morning and be able to profile some wonderful folks who are working within the neighborhood to market our community. So I'm looking forward to more fully exploring with Joel Brueggemann and Michael Pristash some efforts that are going on in North Minneapolis. I'd like to introduce two members of the North Minneapolis community who I've so enjoyed meeting and working with, Joel Brueggemann and Michael Pristash. Joel and Michael are the co-executors of an organization called NOMI. So why don't you tell us about NOMI?
Sure. Well, NOMI was started a couple of years ago, actually, by a resident of North Minneapolis. And she, in turn, turned the NOMI name over to a group of real estate agents who wanted to start working in the neighborhood and making a positive change to the community. With that, we had a home next door to us that actually went for sale. And for strictly selfish reasons, we said, what can we do to select our next neighbor? And so we started working on different prospects of how we could do this. And that led us into the NOMI Home Buyers Tour. And we started doing our very first marketing at Gay Pride, actually, 2 years ago. And there was tremendous interest. And we spoke with approximately 200 to 300 people who were genuinely interested in knowing more about the neighborhoods of North Minneapolis. So with that, we organized the home tours, which we start out with a brief reception, and it gives our guests who are coming into NOMI an opportunity to not only see some of the great amenities that we have to offer, but also to meet some current residents and talk a little bit about what it's like to live in North Minneapolis. I think one of the main goals of the Get to Know Me group is to simply change perceptions, because unfortunately North Minneapolis has had a bad rap, and has had a bad rap for years. And we've been residents of the neighborhood for 8 years and absolutely love where we live. We chose the neighborhood specifically because it was so affordable. Mm-hmm. We were able to get such a wonderful home and knew that if we lived in any other section of the city, we would not even be able to come close to the neighborhood that we're in now and the home that we have. So with that, we wanted to share our story and give other residents an opportunity to share that story as well with people who are interested in coming into the neighborhood. So it's a great opportunity for residents to meet folks and tell them what it's like to live here and give them a real, true perspective. And from there, we then actually go out as a group and we will view anywhere from 5 to 7 homes that are currently on the market for sale, with real estate agents who can speak to the homes themselves, residents who might be neighbors of some of the homes that are for sale. We'll have neighborhood organizers from some of the different neighborhood organizations there who can talk to the crime in the neighborhood, if there are certainly questions about that. Also talk to some of the wonderful financial incentives that are available. And it just gives people a really good sense of getting out, seeing the quality of the homes that we have available in North Minneapolis, but also just to see that our neighborhoods are just as lovely as the neighborhoods south of downtown.
And our neighbors as well.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And on that note, too, what's been particularly exciting and affirming for us, and what made us want to share via this vehicle, North Minneapolis, with others, was what we've come to learn about our neighbors and our surroundings is that North Minneapolis, particularly NOMI and the areas that we live, is that it truly is a small town community. You know, there is a small town feel within the city, and it's been interesting talking to residents who've moved in to NOMI, say from other parts of the city, where they've never had that experience before. You know, they themselves are urbanites or suburbanites. They didn't know their neighbors. They didn't talk to their neighbors. They weren't involved at the grassroots or community level, you know, involved in coffee clutches or block clubs or anything of that nature. And we have a unique opportunity in NOMI, a strong sense of identity. We're really particularly interested in economic development, supporting the businesses that are in North Minneapolis. We've seen a great resurgence or renaissance investment in North Minneapolis, and we want that to continue. So kind of the next piece of NOMI beyond the housing stock is looking at the overall general economic development. You know, it goes without saying that it's been fantastic to watch the North Loop develop and what's happened in downtown flourish and kind of move this way, inch its way forward with the new Twin Stadium and the North Loop looking as wonderful it is. And with so much talk about, you know, development along the river, can't help but end up in our backyard. And so we're trying to help that process along. And we see the precursor, we see the writing on the wall here that North Minneapolis is essentially one of the last affordable places to live in the city. And with all this development on the horizon, this is the place to be if you are a young, upstart individual, maybe a first-time home buyer, a young family. It's got a great arts community, thriving arts community. And in terms of studio space, in terms of livability, this is the place to be.
I think when the foreclosure crisis first came about, there was a real fear that it could have potentially been the demise of the neighborhoods of North Minneapolis.
Yes.
I think we've been very lucky, though, in that the foreclosure crisis, really what it did is it created the opportunity for, as Michael mentioned, first-time home buyers, the artists. We've got a huge GLBT community in North Minneapolis who are coming in, taking advantage of these homes, and we have actually seen so many of our neighborhoods quiet down and take a really great turn for the better. And you know, as we're seeing now, crime statistics are way down in the neighborhoods. So we're just really excited to see the people that are moving in. I mean, I work downtown, so I literally have a 5-minute commute.
Isn't that wonderful? I have the same thing.
Absolutely.
It's so convenient.
Yes.
You couldn't have, couldn't have a more